Hi, this is Mark Koziel, Executive Vice President at the AICPA. And I just wanted to give you a brief update of some of the things that we've been working on here on behalf of our members and on behalf of businesses and our clients all over the country. It's very, very difficult times for a lot of our clients. We've been talking to a lot of different firms, different size firms, small firms, large firms, and the like, to ask what's going on in the marketplace and some of the ideas that some of the firms may have around what we could be doing or what Congress should be doing around trying to help small business and businesses in general. We came up with a 9-point plan, and that blog post went out today. And I just kind of wanted to summarize that for you a little bit. Of course, all this is ever changing, and some of these items have been proposed in legislation, others haven't. But just some ideas. And I really thank our members that we've been able to talk to between myself, Barry Melanson, Sue Coffey, Eric Eiskerson, Carl Peterson, Mark Peterson. We've been talking to our members around what we think might be able to help really kind of continue the economy going in these difficult times. So first, and in the 9-point plan, we summarized it into 3 categories. The first being all businesses, second being small business, and the third being employees or individuals. And in the first, we talked about, first and foremost, with the banking community or through legislation, suspending all required debt payments, including principal and interest, for mortgages and small and medium-sized business loans. Let's just kind of stop the payments today during the time that everyone is shut down and then continue on once the revenue is able to start generating again. The second idea for all businesses was to waive all loan covenants for 6 months. When we get into the audit sphere of these companies and we start to look at it, there's going to be high risk of loan covenants not being met, and there's going to be penalties that are incurred during that. All that we believe should be waived going into the future. The third item for businesses, allow 3-year net operating loss carrybacks. I talked to a lot of practitioners who said, bring back the NOL carrybacks, and that's really going to help with businesses. We've had some really good years for some small business, and then we're going to have this big downturn right now, and yet we're going to have to pay these estimates based on that. An NOL carryback would help with that. So those are the 3 for all businesses. And then small businesses specifically, establish a federal payroll grant to fund small business. You may have seen something about this. We started a coalition. We started it with the Franchise Association, with Paychecks, with Intuit. We have more organizations signing on board today as we speak. And we are starting to see some interest in that in Congress. And we think the payroll would be a great way, and the payroll companies would be a great way to get funding out to businesses. Let the payroll keep going. Let the payroll continue so that we can get people employed, keep people busy, and get the revenue generating again. Second item for small business is to freeze rent or mortgage payments, allow some relief, because if the payroll is the number 1 expense on a lot of small businesses, rent and mortgage payments have to be a pretty close second to that, in addition to cost of sales, obviously. So if we froze that during this period of time, provide some relief. And then for the landlords and the property owners, providing some type of a tax relief for them so that they're incentivized to also do that for small business. And the third item for small businesses is provide relief from banking and credit card payments. So small business loans, credit cards, a lot of small businesses are funding or financing through credit cards. If they provide some level of relief to that, that would be really important to help small business. Then the third area we mentioned were in employees. First, expanding access to unemployment benefits. So there are more people on unemployment, but we have to first relax the requirements or the restrictions around when you could actually file for that unemployment. And then if we actually work with the unemployment agencies with this and provide some level to allow for companies to supplement some type of an unemployment benefit to get those people back working quickly, that also came up as part of that idea. The second was supporting employees in the hospitality industry, maybe set up some type of a charitable contribution fund. You've heard stories of professional athletes and entertainers who have been providing contributions, but make that very real around that. That industry has really been impacted negatively over these last couple of weeks, and that will continue for some time. set up some type of a charitable mechanism for people to be able to donate and get those folks paid. And then the last item is expand access to 401k assets. If we have people who are unemployed, they're trying to make ends meet, maybe we allow for them to dip into their 401k, whether we forego the 10% penalty for early withdrawal or allow repayment for a longer period of time. So if I withdrew out of my 401k today, rather than saying I'd have to put that back in 60 days without penalty, maybe we make that a year. But just get funds, get access to cash for some of our individuals who are out there who may really be suffering. These ideas are going to continue. Some of these things are getting talked about in some of these bills. Be sure to stay tuned at AICPA.org on the Insights blog that you see on our website now, and then also our Coronavirus Resource Center, where we're keeping a lot of information up to date. We hope you all stay safe out there. We hope that this ends soon so we all can get back to work. Thank you very much.